All right, once again, I'm Scott Mullins here at South by Southwest for WTMD, and I've got James Vincent Mcmorrow. He's got a brand new album out early in the morning. You've heard us play the track This Old Dark Machine. James, how are you?
I'm very well. Yeah, I'm good.
Wanted to ask you a little bit about the recording on this, the new album. I understand it was a bit of a one-man isolated project.
Yeah, it was. It was kind of just me in a house for 5 or 6 months, just with a bunch of musical equipment, stuff that I had sort of accumulated over the years, and a computer, just kind of recording day in, day out.
What was your what were you hoping to accomplish by isolating yourself in that way?
I guess cutting off outside noise, like just as much distraction and chatter, and to a certain extent sort of outside ideas and forces on what I was trying to do. I think once you start adding people, engineers or other musicians, it changes what it is going to be, and I didn't know what it was going to be, so I just wanted to make sure that whatever it was mine, for better or worse. So just.
Did it accomplish what you hoped it would?
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's sort of we're getting to the end of it and feeling proud of it. That it was sort of as close to getting to what I had wanted based on sort of the means that I had available to me, like no money and sort of no one microphone. It was just kind of so yeah, I'd say it actually probably exceeded my. I had no idea whether I could do it or not going in, because I'm not the most proficient engineer, and not many people make records like that, so you're never sure whether it'll work or not. So probably exceeded it.
Did you take any inspiration from Justin Vernon from Bon Iver?
I mean, not necessarily. I like that record a lot. For me, like, I started making music this way, in a room by myself, just like stacking harmonies, stacking ideas, and seeing what I could do. And then I sort of took it to another place and tried to make a record in a studio, and it didn't really click. So the goal for me was to get back to the place where I love making music, rather than, you know, trying to emulate someone else's process.
You've said that the album is about transition and change. What kind of transition and change on a personal level?
Well, like I say, the year that had preceded the record was I moved to London. I sort of attempted to make an album, and it didn't really click, and there was a lot of skipping the steps that you should go through in music. Like, I didn't play a lot live, and it was very sort of a lot of upheaval, and just putting myself in London and assuming that I could make a record, having skipped these steps, and it was quite jarring realising that it wasn't going to happen. So now it's sort of coming back to Dublin with I guess my tail firmly between my legs, to a certain extent, and sort of having to sort of rebuild it from the ground up, and sort of think about it all over again. So there was a lot of shifting of ideas.
To me, I feel like the tone of the album changes somewhat about midway through or so. Was there something that happened at that point of the process that marked?
I think that if I was to play the record chronologically and how everything was finished, you could hear the record getting warmer, perhaps, and then when it came time to putting the whole thing together, I had a very specific idea in mind about how I wanted it to flow. I think that the records that I've always gone back to and loved in my life have had that element of ebb and flow, big moments, quiet moments, sort of gets darker and lighter. So it was a very conscious thing. It was very much, I knew how I wanted it to start, I knew how I wanted it to end, and I kind of could navigate it between those two goalposts. So that was it's a very specific thing. Cool. Hi, I'm James Vincent Mcmorrow, and you're listening to 89.7 WTMD.